Shut up and sit down.
Everybody, what's up? Happy Friday night. Hey, Brad and Sean, guys, Beer Sports. We are doing our little breaking in segment. We're here to talk about breaking news of the week. And so, Sean, how are you, first of all? How's your week?
So good. I had most of it off. I had to go in today, but whatever, you know.
I see you're already dressed for the rave tonight, so congratulations with your glow-in-the-dark shirt. We've talked a little bit this week about what we want to talk about, and I think there's some big news in hockey, with the Pittsburgh Penguins organization. There's been a lot of movement. The Russell Wilson thing was something that you want to talk about. I think it's a non-story this year. I think that there's more smoke next year. I will say this, though. If Russell Wilson forces a trade to Las Vegas so that his wife can headline the club, like, if that's the move,
I don't think so. Listen,
Russell, if you're listening to me, like, I've said a lot of terrible things about you and how whipped you are. That's the most whipped thing I've ever heard. You just think about it, right? It's a 30-minute private jet flight from their home in LA. It's a 3-hour drive.
Yeah,
she can headline the Palms or whatever she's gonna do. They could live in, Al Davis Jr.'s, Mark Davis's penthouse or something in a suite. And listen, Russell, if you want to go play for Chucky, Russell, like, more power to you.
I don't see that. I was thinking of a different landing spot, but yeah, that one was shocking.
Save that for Saturday, though. We have that
exactly
on our normal episode, Sunday, Valentine's Day special episode that'll pop off, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like, it was like today I felt like Captain Ahab and the White Whale just came up on board, because it was like the biggest news story that I thought I would see this week. It was so much news that was happening. Yeah. JJ Watt walking into the owners of Houston there, the McNair family, saying he wants out, doesn't want to be part of a rebuilder, and is gone.
Yeah, I think so. That's there's a lot of layers to this. There's a lot of levels, and this is what blanks to me this is exactly why Deshaun Watson wants out. We saw how the McNair family treated Clowney. Don't forget that Mr. McNair referred to NFL players as the inmates running the asylum.
That's right. I do remember that.
And they buried that under. There's Mr. Hopkins, Mr. Nuck, my favorite wide receiver to play in fantasy football. Shout out to Nuck. He wins me a lot of championships. Unceremoniously being traded. When we can agree to that, right? For David Johnson.
Off-season, David Johnson. Yeah, I
shows up out of nowhere, and then the rumblings later became, that he had some problems with the upper management. They just jetted him out. Deshaun Watson, his frustration, all those things, right? Pretty clear. And a lot of the veteran leadership saying, hey, like, we should let Deshaun go and go be free and go get his career on.
Mm-hmm.
And then today, JJ Watt gets the red carpet rolled out for him, and he gets to ceremoniously walk out of Houston, cowboy hat on his head. Hey, fans, thanks for everything except for when you booed me on draft night. Ha, ha, ha. The savior of the city. And it really, to be honest, doesn't sit well with me. I know we hear a lot about, shut up and play, shut up and dribble, all that kind of stuff. I think athletes have a platform today. They should have a platform today.
Absolutely.
And they have these platforms, but you're seeing some toxic environment in Houston, and I think we just call it a spade a spade.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. JJ Watt's not above the same community standards that Mr. Hopkins has made, that Mr. Watson has made. Clowney was a big part of the organization, and they were all treated differently than JJ Watt is being treated now. And I think that is deplorable, and I hope that that comes more to the forefront, because I think that we get numb to the news cycle, and we feel like athletes are trying to force themselves out of places and do those things. And to a certain extent, that is true. But you're talking about 4 superstars, 4 first-round picks
in
an organization in a span of 24 months. And the last 3 in the last 12 months, wanting out and really not being comfortable in saying why they want out.
Mm-hmm. I think so. It's interesting that you say that, because originally I just heard the news and I'm like, JJ Watt's getting older. He wants to win a championship. But having heard what you're stating here, it leads me to sit there and just go, well, JJ Watt I think he has the right to go ahead and ask anything he wants. I think any professional athlete.
JJ Watt.
No,
this is not about JJ Watt and JJ Watt.
This is definitely about the ownership.
And JJ Watt has been frustrated. My beef is with the ownership is like you said, is that he's asking for the same thing those other 3 players asked for, and he's being treated differently. And I think you have to ask yourself why, given Mr. McNair's behavior.
Oh no, I totally agree with exactly what you're stating. The only thing that I would say for JJ, probably, I don't know, maybe he's waiting to leave. It probably doesn't look good just to say, what's what. You know what I mean? Like
whatever it doesn't look good, you have an obligation. You're a team leader.
Yeah.
JJ Watt has been the leader of the Texans for how many years? It's his responsibility in the way out to say what he wanted to say. They gave him the opportunity to announce that he was being waived today to form his own path. He had every obligation to his teammates and to everyone that's come before him and everyone that's yet to come to call it what it is. And he didn't, and he hasn't, and maybe he won't. And maybe I'm off base. Maybe
he just didn't even think of it. Maybe he didn't even think of it that way. Maybe he was just so happy to be out of there, out of that dumpster fire.
That's the thing. When we talk about those things, I'll tell you where I think he's going to go. JJ Watt's made his money. Right? We can agree on that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think he ends up in Pittsburgh playing with his brothers.
Yeah. I could see him landing in Kansas City.
Yeah. Here's what I think. I think that if it's not in Pittsburgh, it's in San Francisco.
It's where?
San Francisco.
It's a possibility as well.
You put him next to Bosa. Shout out Lampton, my barber, for having a great conversation today.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of rumors. And for JJ, maybe he just wasn't thinking about it. But when you do look at it, there's definitely
if you're a leader, it's not an excuse. It's non-starter. It's not.
But there's definitely 2 ways that this ownership group has treated 2 shades of players. So interesting.
Well, yeah, I can't remember what the GM's name was. He had to take a leave of absence. He was ill. McNair treated him poorly, I felt like, on the way out. But then he didn't, he fired Bill O'Brien, but he didn't treat him poorly on the way out. I think there's a pattern in the McNair family. So,
you know what? If there's smoke.
Yep.
Am I right? If there's smoke, and there's smoke.
If there's smoke, sometimes there's an ember, and it looks like there's an ember on your shirt. So I won't hold you up on the grave anymore. We are back live episode on Valentine's Day this week, folks. We will see you soon. Until then, peace.
Check it out, and peace.